This week, John Sargent has been finding his sea legs on some of Scotland's most stunning lochs, from Loch Fyne all the way up to Loch Alsh. There it is.
And tonight he journeys from Little Loch Broom to Loch Ewe and visits a community where you really do have to love the neighbour.
In the far northwest, the wild, rugged mountains of Wester Ross frame some of the most beautiful Scottish sea lochs. And I'm sailing the Spirit of June to one of the most remote and unusual communities in Britain, on the shore of Little Loch Broom.
I'm going to see how people live in the small village of Scoraig. And we're going by boat because that's the only way the normal traveller can get there.
Scoraig is one of just 2 villages on mainland Britain which are only accessed by boat. Kathy Dagg has lived here for most of her adult life.
I came here for the winter and then I thought I'll move on again in the spring. And that was 32 years ago.
And you just think it's wonderful?
Not always, no, but
No?
it's home. Love it or hate it. I couldn't think of living anywhere else.
Scoraig isn't just off the beaten track, it's off the electricity grid. The 75 residents generate their own power using homemade windmills. And it's hard here to keep a secret.
Is that good or bad?
Good.
Yeah?
I think so.
But it means that everyone knows your business, doesn't it?
Can't sneeze without somebody 2 miles away saying, "Oh, you've got a cold, have you?"
Everything going on or off Scoraig does so across the loch, which makes Bill Birstall's boat taxi a vital link.
This is the Friday afternoon trip across the loch to pick up the secondary school kids.
The children stay at school in the nearest town during the week.
For you, that's pretty hard, is it?
I think the parents find it harder in the beginning than the kids do.
And what sort of life is it for them?
For the little ones, it's great to run around in a little feral pack after school and you know everybody, you know you're going to be safe, you don't have to worry about cars and things like that. For primary school age children, it's an excellent place to grow up.
But it's not paradise, is it?
It's hard work. You go shopping and you come back with a car full of stuff, you know, you're an hour and a half from your car to your front door by the time you've loaded everything into the boat.
Everything's got to come onto the boat?
Onto the boat and then across the loch and off the boat and into the pier.
Yeah, and if you've forgotten something, disaster.
Well, there's nothing worse than going shopping and forgetting your car keys.
Bill's daughter Jessie loves coming home.
What do you like about living at Scoraig?
It's unique.
Yeah.
It's like just kind of a big family, really.
But there must be times when you just think it's a bit boring?
Yeah, it can get very boring.
The community has to accept that its teenagers want to fly the nest.
When you grow up, do you think you'll leave here?
Yeah, probably. But that's probably just because I want to see the world and everything, and I want to experience different things. But I don't know, I could come back.
I'm leaving the sheltered loch for the open waters of the North Atlantic. With 20 knots of wind, you need your wits about you.
So why do I like sailing? Well, you are in a different world. You've got to think about so many things. You've got to think about, obviously, have you enough water under you? What about the sails? What about the wind? Are you going in the right direction? And all that makes you think about these things and not about the problems at home or about traffic or about work. And that's why, although it's hard work, it's very relaxing.
Loch Ewe, where a belt of tall pines conceals a surprisingly exotic landscape. Inveruge Gardens are on the same latitude as Moscow, but the warm waters of the Gulf Stream keep conditions mild enough for unusual plants from all over the world. Kevin Ball, the head gardener, is taking me to see something quite extraordinary. Wollemi pines were known only through fossils and were thought to have become extinct 2 million years ago, until a small number were found in an isolated Australian ravine. These few specimens were donated to the gardens in 2007.
So that must have been very exciting.
It's the equivalent of finding a dinosaur alive. They're very prehistoric looking. The leaves almost look like a stegosaurus's back, and we're so lucky to have a group of 9 growing this far north.
They really look unusual. Loch Ewe, unusual gardens, unusual trees.